Hey guys, this is Tad, your homestead provider. Well, me and Hudson dug up 65 pounds of potatoes last weekend, and now it's time to start putting them up. So this year I think I'm gonna can them. I've never canned potatoes before. Most of the time I just put them under the house or something for a little while, and that works. That is one way to do it. Root cellar would be great if you had that option. But this year I think I'm going to can them. So what I've did so far, I have washed these potatoes I have laying right here really good. And I am fixing to cut them up and put them into the jars. But before I do that, I am going to warm up my oven. I want it to put it on 170, and I'm going to put the jars in there and have them to start warming up. It helps whenever you're canning anything, really, to have your jars warm before you go to adding everything to it. Not only does it help, it keeps them from breaking, because if you put boiling water into a cold jar, there's a good chance it's going to break. So the way we're going to do this, I'm going to have these warming up, and I'm going to start a pot of boiling water right here. And whenever I get the jars warmed up, I'm going to get one out, put 1 teaspoon of canning salt in the bottom of it. I'm going to cut up, I'm going to fill the jar up with the potatoes. You know, cut them up, put them whole, whatever I need to do to fill up the jar. And then I'm going to pour some boiling water into each of the jars and seal the lid. That way I can put it in a canner. I'm going to have my canner setting up here and get it going here in just a second. But that's going to kind of be the process we go through while we're doing this. I'll kind of talk it through as I'm doing it, just show you what I'm doing. But this right here is pretty easy to do. There's not a lot to this as far as canning goes and putting up potatoes. It's actually one of the easier things to can, it seems like. So hang out with us and let's get going on this. We have a lot of potatoes put up. Alrighty, now guys, we got our canner warming up. I've got my pot of water that is just about to boil. I've got my lids back here in a warming pot of water just to kind of help soften the seal. Our potatoes are washed. We are fixing to start putting these in jars. So what I'm going to do first, jars warm, I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt. Canning salt is what it calls for. I use Redmond salt, just anything without iodine in it. So add that into the jar. Now all you gotta do is start adding the potatoes. So some of these I'm gonna put in here whole, some of them I'm gonna cut up. And as I'm putting them in here, I'm kind of looking at them, be sure I didn't miss any bad spots, because you don't want to put a rotten potato in your jar here. It will ruin it. So as we're doing this, just gonna kind of cut some of them up, leave some of them big. Quarter them. Just like that. Add some of these smaller ones too as we go. So you want to leave about an inch, so roughly an inch of head space in your jar, because it will get over full. What I'm going to do is smash some of this down in here pretty good. I already know what I'm going to do is take my canning funnel, dip out some cups of boiling water, fill my jar up. Again, you want the water line just to the base of your, just to the bottom rim right there of your jar. Then what we're going to do, take this off. That's just water. Now I always use a napkin and kind of wipe off the rim. Be sure there's nothing left in it that could cause it not to seal good. And I'm gonna get one of these jar lids out of the hot water back here. It's not boiling, it's just hot. Make that seal soft. We're gonna set it on there right there. Then we're gonna tighten it down really good. Then I'm gonna set it over here in our canning pot, and we'll put the lid on it here in a minute, and I'll talk to you more about that. But I'm gonna speed this up a little bit. It's gonna be a whole lot of the same, just kind of a repetitive motion. I'm gonna keep doing this until I get my canner filled up, and then we will talk about the pressure canner. Alrighty, now I got the canner full here. We're going to set the lid on it and seal her down. Do it just like that. Pull it tight. Now, this pressure gauge right here, we want it to get up almost to 10. So we're going to be watching that, and once it gets to 10, we're going to let it pressure cook for somewhere around 15 to 20 minutes. And maybe a little bit longer. We'll just kind of see how it goes. But we're going to let that pressure rise in this thing, and we'll come back whenever we get done. Alrighty, now we got it up almost to 10 pounds of pressure. We are going to set our timer for 40 minutes, not 20. I told you wrong. I had to look back at my directions. So it's 40 minutes cooking at 10 or 11 pounds of pressure. So we're going to start the timer and be back here in a minute. Alrighty, now guys, this has been this cooked, well, I say cooked, this pressure cooked for 40 minutes. I turned it off at the 30-minute mark, and the pressure slowly come down, and it is now to 0. So we are fixing to, I'm going to go ahead and take that weight off and open her up. So that is all there is to canning potatoes. So what I'm going to do is get these out right here and just set them to the side, let them be cooling, and as they start cooling, we'll start hearing them lids pop, which means that it has a good seal. So that is all there is to it. This is pretty easy little canning project. There wasn't much to that at all, and if I can do it, you can do it. So if you're liking these videos, if you're enjoying the content, give this video a thumbs up, because you never really know what's coming next. But that's all I got right now. This is Tad, your homestead provider. God bless.